Hey, Karen Ray, doing a quick video here today. I guess this is Law of Attraction Part 3, and I did say that I had a surprise for you, and I do, and it's really cool. And I've been in a discussion about Law of Attraction, and in my first video I talked about how sometimes it seemed like it did and did not work for me, and in the discussion about that, we talked about if a law is a law, then a law doesn't work sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. That's why it's called a law. And in the discussion, we were saying that that it seems like the law does not work. Sorry. Just because it seems like it doesn't work does not mean that the law of attraction doesn't work. All that is telling us is that we are not comprehending what's going on, and so we're not getting the results that we think that we're going to get using the principle, well, using the law of attraction and understanding the principles of how this law works. So what I wanted to say about that is that it's just our observation of how things work, and it's our label of trying to understand what's going on around us, and so we call it a law. And the reason we call it attraction is because it seems like the way that this law works is the way that our thoughts work, our mindset is. Whatever we think about and focus on is those types of thoughts, that type of a mindset, scientifically has its very own type of frequency. So that frequency in itself also seems to have what we can understand as a magnetic type of characteristic, personality of its all on its own. So what happens is, so our thought life, our emotions, our feelings, our mindset, which sets off this frequency, and it has a magnetic type of characteristics, draws into our life similar things that have a similar type of frequency. Thus, that's why we call it the law of attraction. And then in another discussion, it seemed like when we talk about the law of attraction, there's a lot of spirituality and even words like faith, and some people don't necessarily put those types of words to a law of attraction. In other words, why would you have to say spirituality and faith if it's a law like gravity? I mean, it should be just scientific, and if it's a law, if it's a law of nature, then we shouldn't have to attach attributes like spirituality and faith. And maybe that's true, but as human beings, and for those of us like myself, understand myself as a spiritual being, and that's just a word that we use to describe what we are, a nature that we have. And when we say that, when we attribute spirituality and faith to this particular law, all we're saying is that the way that we interact with this phenomena, this law of attraction, the way that we interact with it really depends on what we think about it, how we feel about it, and yes, do we believe in it? And if we have belief, which is faith, right? We can say faith and belief are synonyms in this instance. So when we say that a law of attraction has spirituality and faith, all we're saying is that we have an understanding that as a spiritual being, and faith just means that faith is a mindset. I'm having this particular mindset about what I believe and towards this phenomena called law of attraction, this law of nature. So when I interact with it with faith and spirituality, when my emotional mindset is interacting with it in a certain way, I get certain types of results. And that's why the law of attraction.